This is a situation that happened when I was coding my OS server, and first I made an OOP inspired decision, but then refactoring code kind of made it more clear, but I broke some OOP standards in the process. So let's say we have some piece of logic called a sign up method handle, whatever. So it has an input output and also an error enum. Tied to this piece of logic is some information about access in the config and also the handle itself. How we would want to use this is we first check the access, because let's say we want to check if the method is disabled before creating an input, and then we get the result from the handle and match on it. Now what you might think you want to do is to create a struct and have the access info and the handle as class methods of sorts. Now the access info, let's write the function. It needs access to the global state object for the config. So that means we want to have the state object stored inside of the structure. And also we want to instantiate the structure somehow, so we want to create a new method. Let's also create the handle itself. So it will consume self and also accept the input structure. So we have the method for it, and then we want to do something else. There you go, now we have the input output, the signup struct, and the error. The signup struct has methods access and handle. It handles input and returns an output. Now how we would use this, let's first create an alias. We want to use this as method. And then we want to check on the access, but first we need to instantiate the signup object struct. To instantiate, we need to pass the state. So now we want to check the access. Let's extract it. And after that, when we check the access, we create the input, and we get the result of the handle. So we ask it to handle the input and then match on the result and get the output in the OK variant. Now, this is what I did at first, but let me, as I think, improve this code a bit. First we get rid of the signup structure and let its methods just be the functions inside of the module. But they need state, let's pass it explicitly. So we pass the state to the handle and then to the access function. Now to use this new code, we just change a couple of places. First, what I do is I put the alias inside of the function as I would create an instance of signup structure otherwise, and then just change the dots to colons and pass the state explicitly like we did it in the signature. The same exact way we check on the access, we create the input and we ask the method to handle the input, but we need to pass the state explicitly. Here we go, the usage didn't change much, but the module itself started to look a lot cleaner in my opinion. And just to stress this further, it is a real code example. It's the same way in my code base. So here's the input structure, the output structure, the access function, handle function, and the error enum. It's all the same, it's just more code, more difficult to parse. So yeah, I guess there's always a better way to write code.